after that, right, now is when it really starts. Because you're like, yo, we're one of 4 teams left in this nation. And we're competing now to win that venue. Like, it's that thing everybody talks about. Don't like, you guys talk every year, like, yo, we're going to win a national championship. But one team does it, right? So for football, there's 26 losers. Right?
Yeah, so
all of a sudden we're like, oh, we're one of 4 teams. Now we're getting a game on Sportsnet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Tim and Sid are talking to us.
That's
like we're there. Like we're like, okay. All of a sudden, so the trip. This is the best. But this is my favorite part of the story because I'm included in the story. Yeah, we get there and the whole week of practice. Like, let me tell you, it was like, do not touch anybody. We cannot afford an injury right now. It was. We were going over plays. You guys know the plays. Like, it is just mental. And so the thing is, it was at Laval. Like, it's a home game for Laval. If you know anything about Quebec City and Laval, they love football.
They go hard.
And Quebec City doesn't have a basketball team. They don't have a football team. All they have is a junior hockey team, and they have Laval football. Let me tell you.
Wow.
They come out. So it's like that week, we were supposed to... So the game is on Saturday. We were leaving Thursday. Thursday at like 6 or 7 in the morning. Something stupid. Because it was like it's a 10-hour bus ride to get to Quebec. And then it's like you have practice there and everything. So... I was like, yo, I haven't dressed all year. I'm not gonna dress. So the dress roster, they literally post a paper in the locker room and has the dress roster. One of the linebackers, my buddy Jake Richardson, he goes, yo, what the heck? Why am I on the dress roster? I can't play. Like, my shoulder's all messed up. Like, I literally cannot play. So he goes, talks to the coach. All of a sudden, I'm like, I didn't think nothing of it, right? All of a sudden, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, why is it Coach V calling me? Like, that's our like defensive coach. I was like, why is he calling me? I was like, I didn't even know he had my number. So he's calling me and I'm like, he's like, hey, where you at? You're on the roster. Jeez. I was like, you're kidding me. Right? And like some of it is that you feel invisible when you're a walk-on, right? Because I didn't live with these guys. I didn't know these guys. Like, I wasn't in their recruiting class. So like I don't feel necessarily all the time like I belong. And it was like, you're like, yo, I'm really on this roster. And like it was honestly one of the best things was one of the guys in there, he was like, yo, congratulations, man. Like, you genuinely earned it. And I was like, yo, people actually noticed me in this locker room for a sec. But after that, it was like, I was like, shit, like I gotta pack. I have an exam on Friday. I'm gonna be in Quebec City now. Like,
you gotta do preparations.
You know what I mean? So I'm like calling my dad. I'm like, Dad, I need you to drop me off tomorrow at 6 a.m. to the school because we're leaving for Quebec City. So I'm like, yo, Dad, like, let's go. Like, I gotta pack clothes. I gotta pack all my equipment. I had never packed all this stuff. I gotta get a second helmet. We only wear the purples. If you don't dress, you only get a purple helmet.
Okay.
That's like your practice helmet. That's your helmet. But for the game, we were wearing white helmets. So like every starter has the 2 helmets. So I was like, yo, I need another helmet. I need my game. What number am I? Like, yeah, I need all this stuff. So I was like, oh my goodness. So get on go home that night, pack everything. Everything's ready. I'm like, yo, I'm really doing this. So honestly, it was the best trip of my life because it was like, you get to Quebec City and, you know, the atmosphere is crazy. You know, I was there for like 3 days. My parents decided to drive up. So my parents drove up to Quebec City. It's like the first time I dressed, and it was like, obviously, it was a meaningful game.
It's a big deal.
But the biggest thing was like me, like stepping on that field, like just being in that. I didn't actually end up playing the game. Like, we had a situation. So we brought more players than we needed because you can only dress 47. We brought like 55 or something like that. Extra guys just in case someone's like, yo, I'm feeling sick, like a bad ham. You need play. Like, we can't shuttle a kid up now. So we brought extra players, and one of the guys, he was on kickoff, and he was kind of so-so. His hamstring was acting up, and they were like, yo, we need you for defense. If your hamstring's not great, we're going to use you on defense. We're not going to use you on special. So I was going to fill in for special. I was like, yo, I'm actually going to be on this field. Like, I'm terrified. Like, I don't want to make a fool of myself on national TV. You know what I'm saying?
Sportsnet,
like, right?
Everybody
like,
watching.
I don't want to look like an idiot. So, but the craziest part about all that, 12,000 people are there, and it was loud. And I'm not one for being intimidated like by another team, but all right, when you see like French football players are older than us. Like we get to university at like 17, 18. Nah.
They get
These
a
dudes go to
year later.
CJEP first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So some of these dudes are like, they get there and the youngest is like 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like grown men because they've been playing. You can play football at CJEP.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are built. They're grown men. They understand football. Oh, it was cold. Like, let me tell you, it was like -5 or something. And it's like not like there's different -5s. There's like that sunny -5, and there's like that bone chilling -5. It was that bone chilling -5. They came out and they're in the opposite corner as us, and you hearing this like it was like a bell. It was like dong. And you're seeing them all like swaying and with their flag, and I was like, and like 12,000 people are like cheering, and I was like, oh my goodness, we're in this. Game didn't go well. Game did not go well.
Yikes.
Let me tell you, I was frozen. I was cold. I was miserable. It was the worst, but you know, it's a great opportunity, and I was like blown away because I would never have seen myself in that like scenario. Being like, I've watched like, you know, U Sports basketball on Sportsnet, all kinds of things. I've watched the national championship game, and sometimes you feel like, yo, these guys are like crazy, so much better than you, and just to be like, yo, we can be on that field. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you forget like the soccer you play is the same soccer that wins the national championship, right? Like you're in that same league, and sometimes you lose sight of that, but it's like, it was really cool to like experience that and kind of get that going forward, to be like, you know what, this is what we're playing for, and you're really playing for it.
Yeah.
And you know, some of the younger guys, I don't know if they have that, but
as in the younger guys,
the new recruit, the younger generation, like they come in and they see our success and they go, oh wow, like it must just always be like this.
Yeah, it's
like
that
they
easy.
don't see you have to work hard for that success. Like, you know, like it's hard to win. It is hard to win in the OUA.
Very,
It's not that easy. Even some American kids come over here and they think, this will be a breeze, I'll be the MVP. It's like, nah, dude, you won't do it. It is hard.